got about 15 people joined in the chat today. Make sure to feel free to like drop any questions that you have in the chat. Welcome to Tuesday Triggers, y'all. For those of you that haven't been here before, great to have you for the first time. For those of you that have, welcome back. Let me pull up the chat here. Nice. What's up, Aviv? Um, Today we have Xavier Caffrey. Again, I really love chatting with you, dude. Like I said, it's always a really intellectual conversation, and then we end up diving into pieces and going off and veering off into different areas, and it's always a great conversation. So, um, for the sake of today, you've got about 20 people on right now, and we'll see as people start trickling in. But I think today, we'd love to talk about kind of some of your processes, some of the things that have made you so successful, some of the things that you think people should be avoiding or going after in the next 6 months, and just kind of overall like the way that you view the space. If you have anything like set in stone that you wanted to talk about for sure, like I think when we were chatting earlier, you're kind of talking about copywriting, offer, tech stack, deliverability. And then you had mentioned, I mean, just kind of your results lately are just fucking killing it. So,
Yeah.
I think everyone, I mean, look, we've been having trouble lately. Our deliverability has been shit lately. And so I
Mm.
think we're all kind of dealing with a lot of these hurdles. So man, from someone who's getting a 9% reply rate, dude, just let's chat about that. So, that being said, the session is yours to take it wherever you want. Let's dive in, yeah?
Yeah. So actually, what's funny? I logged into instantly because I want to see the number. We're very close. We're about to hit the double digit. It's 9.9%. I don't know if I can share my screen and show.
You should be
Uh,
able to share there at the bottom. Do you have that option?
yeah. I want to show this. One sec. Share screen maybe. Window. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. So it's at 9.9% right now in the last 3 months. Um, but this is like, okay, this is abnormal, I realize. Like, I want to make sure everyone knows that I'm not saying I do this for like all my campaigns. But the reason why that number is there is because that campaign is very targeted. So if we look, like the number of people contacted is only 2,041. That's it. And out of the 2041, so if we do some math, 2041 divided by 109 replies, that means we're getting a lead for every, let's round it up, 19 people we try to reach out to. Now, the reason why that is because I do the thing, let me not say I, my team does the thing that most people cannot do, which is we just don't listen to the noise. There's just so much noise in our space. It's fucking insane. There's so much noise in most spaces now because of social media, AI, and stuff like that. But for me, I'm just like, before we hit a crazy number like this, we I started picking it up when early on, clients are telling me like we've never seen results like this before, and I swear to God, I'm not saying this to boost my ego, but I'm just saying this because like, what do you mean you've never seen results like this? And then I would talk to other agencies that I thought that they're way, way ahead, and then they're telling me, yeah, we haven't seen like we don't get this many leads for our clients. So it's like, okay, interesting. So naturally, I'm like, well, why am I getting this? And I'm not doing anything special. And then I have to give a shout out. This is my one of my favorite guys in the industry. Funny enough, actually, I hope he's okay with me saying this. He should be okay with me saying this. I convinced him to become my friend by cold emailing him. Okay. Uh, I have this email. Maybe I can pull it up. Let me see if I have it here because I titled it. I really hope I can find it, man. It might be from my other email account. I think it might be. But basically, I titled it called Unfuck My Sales Agency because I was trying to scale and I could not scale. I was struggling. Unfuck my, let me see if I can, man, I really hope I can find it. I really want to show it on this call. Fuck. Please, 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 please. Dude, I may have used an asterisk and that's why I can't find it. Oh my God, I found it actually. You want to see this?
Yeah, of course.
Let me, okay, there's something kind of personal on here. No, actually, no, this is fine. Let me make sure this is okay. because okay, yeah. This is look. I'm definitely gonna share this because I want to make a video about this. I told him anyways. So far, no one knows what I'm talking about, which I find hilarious. I'm like really dragging this on, but it's okay. Let me share my
Take
screen.
your time, man.
So you guys know I don't talk out of my ass. I have receipts for everything I say. Look at this. Unfuck my sales agency, right? It's Jacob from sales.co. So I reached out to him, and Jacob is, like I said, like sorry guys, but he's my favorite guy in the lead gen space because he's just so like straightforward, no fucks given, nah. And like the way to crush it in this space is just to do the unsexy thing and keep doing it long enough and not get distracted. He tells me this all the time. Like Jacob in a way acts like my big bro in some in a lot of ways. And yeah, he's like, dude, like anytime I'll come to him because I get excited about something because I made the mistake of drinking two double shot espressos and now all of a sudden I can't fucking stop talking. Oh my God, I want to do this. And he's like, dude, you're an idiot. You're already killing it. Like, just keep doing that and just do more of it. So that's it. Like that's the harsh truth a lot of people don't want to face, you know? Like the reason why you're not getting crazy results because you're overcomplicating your process. You're falling for the bait that so many sales gurus, affiliate partners, all the quotations that you can think of are dangling like a carrot in front of you and you're biting it. Just don't, you know, do the basics and you're gonna get really good results consistently. So that's my opinion.
Well, I think like a lot of people in this space love to sell the sizzle, not the steak, right? Like so,
Mm,
like uh, triggers, right? We talk about triggers all day long. That's not like the crux of what we do, right? Like, what would you say, for
mm,
example? So we were talking about this before, and maybe you can run through this again. But you were talking that you do instantly is done for you setup for everything, which is crazy in my
yeah.
book, but it makes sense and it's consistent, right? And I would love to get back to that, but we're on a mission to own our own infrastructure. But like you use instantly is done for you setup. Obviously, you're a clay, one of the top clay experts, or one of the longest standing and top clay experts. But like, what would you say is the divide between if you were to go and look at all of your emails right now? What is the divide between like um, crazy clay customizations where you've dug up 10 research points versus like just really good copy and really minor clay customizations?
So that's a good question. You're gonna hate me for saying this, but like I'm not. Like whatever answer I'm gonna give you right now, everyone should take it with a grain of salt because I'm not inside the business as much as I used to. Like that's a question Balsha will be able to answer. Which if anyone's on this call, you want to follow a new account, go follow Balsha from Runaway. Like that guy's an absolute genius. I'm so lucky to have him on the team. But I will tell you this, like both work. It just depends on the use case. Like sometimes I remember there's an instance. I mean, we built. Let me not say we. Balsa built a clay table that we presented in Berlin, and it was the most complicated. I remember when Balsa showed me this, I wanted to throw up. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Like this, there's too much happening, but it worked. It worked so well because the use case needed something like that, you know. So then I would say like you should always gotta ask yourself like do I really need to go that deep? You know, like sometimes you do, and then sometimes you don't. If the okay, here's a simpler framework. The deeper and the more obvious a pain is, the less customization is required. You know, like this. I'll be honest. I'm no longer a fan of his because I think some of his shit is like too corny now. Like or maybe because finally I've scaled my business, I can't relate to what he said. I don't know, but Alex Hormozy like gets under my skin now. But there is one thing I read in his book that I really like, and it relates to what I'm talking about here about the customization piece. It's the hot dog example that he used. He's like, if you have a hot dog stand outside the stadium, and people come out and they're hungry as fuck, they're going to eat your hot dogs regardless of how bad they taste because they're hungry. You know, the pain is so big. You don't need anything fancy, right? You can probably dangle the hot dog in front of them, like, you want this or not? And they say yes, and like you can probably throw it to them, and then they catch it with their mouth. You don't even need to put it in a bun. They're so hungry, you know? So if the pain is so fucking deep and so obvious, you don't need that much customization. If it's a little bit more complicated and more difficult to extract, you need customization. You need to do some mental math gymnastics and GPT and Clay, whatever fancy schmancy words you want to use. That then is required. So that's my answer to your question.
That's a good answer. So what do you like? Let's talk about the four things that we were going to talk about today, right? So copywriting, offer, tech stack, deliverability. So let's start with like copywriting. What advice do you have for everyone that's like listening right now on how to do better copy?
I would say, yeah, I remember reading, I think it was Sam Parr who said this. Sam Parr from My First Million. He's like, actually, both Sam and Sean talked about this. They don't do sales copy, but they do copywriting really well. And they say, like, you should write copy, and your first draft is always shit. It's always shit, you know? So you write whatever it is that you're writing, step away from it and then revisit it again, and you will always find things to edit, always. So I would say that's one. Two, I would say uh never. I'm seeing this now more of a trend now because like AI is getting better, and AI agents also are around. Like, don't let AI write all of your email. Just don't. Like, if you find yourself taking the short route, don't complain if you don't get results. You know, like, you need to be on the steering wheel. By the way, out of the entire process, copywriting is the hardest thing to find someone to join the team to do, because it requires like a level of sophistication, a level of empathy, a level of like psychological understanding of like, why am I saying this? How's that going to make the person feel? How are they reading it, and so on. So I would say that's my tip number three, is like learn the boring things that no one is talking about, because everyone loves to talk about the tools all the time. So read, I mentioned this a lot on my LinkedIn post. Read Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing in your cold email is you're trying to evoke curiosity, and enough curiosity for them to go from no, fuck this guy or this girl, whatever, I don't want to read this, to okay, fine, I'm gonna read this, like, I'll bite. So read that book and understand what are the things that you can do in there to improve your copy. And then the last tip I'll have for the copywriting is like, think about the experience of the other person. So your lines of defense, the first one is the subject line. So because it's here, right? It's on the left side. So this better make me interested enough to read this side, which is the preview line. And then this better be interesting enough that makes me click on it and open it. And once I open it, I better not get like anxiety from how fucking long your email is, because I
Yeah.
did not sign up to read a Harry Potter novel on a random Tuesday at 2 p.m. I don't have time for that. So I better be able to skim through it. And when I do skim through it, guide me. What am I doing here? You know, I am too busy. I have 1,000 emails in my inbox every single day. I have to give tasks to people now, because you're most likely reaching out to a decision maker. For once in my life, tell me what to do, right? Give me a call to action that is simple to follow. Don't also make me like put together an IKEA for like couch. That's too complicated. My brain cannot process it, and that's gonna work. So I would say like do that, you know?
I love it, man. That's those are all really good examples. So that kind of ties into offer, right? How do you turn an offer that sucks and make it good? Or what do you how do you make offers better? Or how do you work offers?
Well, the offer, like, okay, so I mean, the main thing to figure out before is if the problem is there, right? Like, I can't offer a solution to a problem that doesn't really exist. You know, like I can give you a crazy offer for. Let me think. Let me see if I can think of an example on the spot. Okay, I'll be honest. Like, I tried to work with a client because like it was a friend who referred me to this client, and I really wanted to help him, but I couldn't. He's just like he does speaking gigs, okay, like
He
sales
does.
speaking gigs,
Oh yeah, yeah.
speaking, you know, like microphone. Yeah. But he hasn't had a sales job in like 20 years. I was like, okay, and what's the problem you're solving? He's like, I just want to motivate people. I'm like for a cold email, for things like this, it doesn't work. You know, like go make videos, go make inspirational videos and make me want to cry or like get me excited. But like cold email, I can't crack it. I just can't. The offer, like I can't do it in that visual format, right? But let's assume that the pain is there, right? And you need to make the offer better. Thing like I think one actually, funny enough, I'm referring to him again, Sam Parr from My First Million. I heard him once mention this, and I thought it was such a fun question to think about. He's like, if you could charge 10x what you charge right now, what would you do differently, right? And the idea isn't that you necessarily need to charge 10x. Let's say you charge 5K. 10x would be 50K. Okay, if I charge you 50K, what would I do differently than what I do now at 5K? Write that down and then see what you can offer that as an offer for 5K. Because then it's like, oh my God, I'm getting the best deal of my life. Like, this is insane. So I think that's a really fun mental exercise to go through. So if I charge 50K, what would I do be differently? List that out. Like, and then you'll figure out from there. And of course, like split test all the time, right? Like, let's say with Instantly, they have a split testing option. Make sure the only variable that changes, the only variable that changes is your offer, because then like that's the only thing you're measuring the split test on. That's the other thing I think people don't do right is like they'll just change random words and it's like there's no structure and purpose behind the changes you're making. So
Right.
if you feel like your offer is not as good, keep everything the same except for your offer. Come up with multiple offers, split test, see which one resonates, and then double down on that.
Do you workshop this stuff in Claude, or where do you workshop it?
Workshop what exactly, like
I
how
don't know.
I write the offer
When
or
you
the idea of the offer.
when you start like reverse engineering stuff and breaking stuff down and like asking these kind of questions that are like one layer deeper, like okay, if this was like if I wanted this, if this was a 50,000 offer, what would it be, and what how can I like make it
Mm.
achieve that level? Like how do you spend time with that stuff?
Yeah, so there's two things I do. I'm still using GPT quite a lot. I don't know, I just like I'm stuck on the UI and the UX, like it just makes sense to me. I did use Claude recently for copywriting, and I was like shocked how good it is.
It
It
is
helped me
good.
write a script. It is really good. But one thing I do, it's a very subtle thing. I might be like what is it called? Try harding for no reason, but at least for me it works. Is I have a GPT agent where I uploaded all of my favorite books, okay? And then I wrote a prompt in the agent that when I ask you questions about X, refer to this book for my source of truth. When I ask a question about Y, refer to this book as my source of truth. When I ask a question about Z, refer to that book. The reason is because if you and you can try this yourself by the way, if you go on GPT right now and say, have you read Influenced by Dr. Robert Cialdini? It will always say no. It has not read a single book. It's only read reviews. So it doesn't have the full context. So I find that the answers I get from my agent, whose name is Jacob, because if you write Jacob, it spells just a chill operating bot. Because everyone uses Alfred. Because Alfred is, do you know what Alfred stands for?
Uh-uh.
No? Let me tell
No.
you. Alfred stands for in Batman. Because have you not noticed how everyone is naming their AI bots Alfred? You haven't noticed that? No?
No.
Really?
No,
Wait,
I
wait,
haven't
wait. Like
heard.
it's like it's such a trend. Let me see if I can. Oh no, no, wait, not Alfred. What's the name of Tony Stark's assistant? What's his name?
Oh, oh, what the fuck?
Oh my God. Tony Stark's assistant is what? Uh,
Anyone got it? Jarvis, Pepper Potts. Jarvis?
oh yeah, yeah. What does Jarvis stand? Do you know what Jarvis stands for?
Uh-uh.
I'll tell you right now. Come on, please. Just a rather very intelligent system. Yeah,
Nice.
so you notice the trend. A lot of people talk about that, like say, "Oh, this is my Jarvis," and I was like, "Fuck, I want to come up with something else," and I come up with Jacob. So just a chill operating bot. So that's my Jarvis. And then
Nice.
he knows all my books, and then I have these kind of brainstorming sessions with Jacob, and it's really beneficial. So that's how I go about it.
So before, since we only have like 10 minutes left, I want to jump into some of the nitty gritty, right? Have you been getting, so are you saying you're not having issues with deliverability? You haven't been having issues with, really? What about deliverability to, I mean, and again, not everyone is tracking this or following this, but have you seen general trends in response rates to Outlook? Because that's certainly an area where we've had issues in the last 3 months. It sucked.
Yeah, so the Outlook stuff, we haven't tried to reach out to anyone with an Outlook email in the last 3 months. So we definitely we noticed a huge, oh my God, the dispress the delta between sending to Outlook and Google is insane. So when we noticed that, we immediately stopped it. Shout out to you guys, honestly, for calling that out as well, because I saw it. At first, I saw it, someone was mentioning it in the group chat. And I remember messaging Balsha. I was like, "Hey, is this true? Like, what? Like, how bad is it?" And then we looked at it, and I remember like seeing like over 20% difference between Google and Outlook, which is insane.
A
So we
lot of
haven't
people,
tested
have
Outlook.
just straight shut off Outlook. Like we're just not even looking
Exactly.
at
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We're literally one of them. Like we haven't sent any email to Outlook. I remember seeing Taylor tweeted saying anyone who's saying that they're delivering to Outlook, like something like you're talking shit. Like show me that this actually works. And no one's able to prove that to him. So maybe we'll try it out again in a month or so, but for now it doesn't make sense to take that risk, you know?
Taylor's a smart dude. He's a good person to listen
Exactly, yeah. But
to.
Pierre is saying some spicy takes. He said if it's less than 30 words, then it can land. That's interesting.
I've been hearing
That's
that too.
challenging.
I need to start testing that, but like Josh Whitfield just made a post about it. People have been saying that for a minute, but like, dude, it's pretty hard to make people want to answer your email in 30 words.
30,
However,
I
if
agree.
you're the only person getting through the spam filter and you can do it in under 30 words, like I think that that's what's up. So, um,
Hmm.
oh, interesting. You just use the first email to inbox. Uh, Interesting. So that's like, so Dylan, is that the take? So you use the first email. Oh, that's smart. So he's saying, hey, you just like literally write a less than 30 word email to an Outlook inbox. Then the second one is where you start pitching all of your goods.
Mm, that's so man, the amount of fucking hula hoops you honestly have to do. Like show me how 11x is gonna figure this shit out. See, things like this is just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just the human brain is so fascinating that if things of growth hacky things like that, you know? That's so smart, by the way. Who was it? I want to say thank you.
Dylan, yeah.
Johnny?
No, Dylan
No, Dylan.
mentioned that.
Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. That's super clever, actually.
Yeah, I'll
That
have
is
to
very
do some
clever.
testing on that. So for you right now, tech stack is just Clay and instantly, right? Instantly done for you.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say it's just right. Like we're spending on a lot of other tools, but it's just like if you were to put a gun to my head and be like the two main tools, like I would say those are the two. Like within, because Clay is like a middleman, right? Like there's so many tools inside of it. So like some other things that come to mind are Serper, Lead Magic, Full and Rich. What's
Applify.
another one? Apify, Triggerfy. Triggerfy is big. We really like the boys over there. Yeah, but just like Clay and Instantly is just the meat. It's just the main things that we use. That's what it is.
Hmm. Yeah, same with us. We're on Smart Lead right now, but I think everyone is reviewing which platform is sending the best. It's pretty tough right now. Um, let's see if anyone has any questions as well for Xavier in the chat. Please drop them. But that being said, let's talk about I guess any of the um, kind of. I think I mean, we've touched on this, right? But is there any other thing that you want to talk about in terms of tech stack and the fundamentals that people
Yeah,
should be really diving into?
yes, yes. This is something I've been talking about a lot on LinkedIn, and I definitely want to mention here is that like you really, when I say you, I'm talking like literally anyone listening to this, you really need to accept the truth that no tech stack can save you. All it does just is just a magnifying glass. Like you need to learn the fundamentals. I don't know, like well, I do know why it's such an unpopular opinion because it's not sexy. It's so not sexy to tell you that you need to understand why people say yes, or how to convert them from no to yes. Uh, um, it's hard to convince people to learn about the art of copywriting, like how your sentence should start and flow, and when you should start a new line, and what kind of call to action to include and why you're including that call to action and how people think about it and so on. It's just like all of these or like identifying the problem or identifying how to pitch a solution to the problem. Man, these kind of things like they matter so much. Well, you and I both know guys that they don't use Clay, but somehow they're still printing results, which I know as I can say this with confidence as a Clay enterprise partner. I love the tool. I use it for everything, but people mistake it to be like the silver bullet. Even Clay will tell you that they're not the silver bullet, by the way. It's just if you have the fundamentals right and you use it, it magnifies what you can do. So that's the point I really want to stress here is that if you're struggling with your results, there's a pretty big chance because your fundamentals aren't there because you wanted to skip the steps because you just want to make money because you see other people make money online from this because the dream is being sold to you that in a couple of clicks and with a little investment, you can send 1,000 or 5,000 or whatever number, sexy number that sounds good, emails per day or per month, and you're like, yeah, fuck it, dude. Like I can just do this, and like eventually something is gonna stick. That's not how it works. Like it's getting more difficult because there's so much noise in the inbox. So if you keep thinking like that, and if you keep falling for those baits online from the LinkedIn content of being like, sign up to these tools, test all these, like, dude, do yourself a favor and first learn the basics and the fundamentals. That's why a guy like the guy that I respect so freaking much in this space, and I know everyone does as well, is Eric. Eric is one of the most like technical guys in the industry, but Eric always talks about fundamentals. If
Yeah.
you read his Google Doc book that he wrote, which is incredible, by the way, everyone should read it. He talks about the fundamentals, even the deliverability. This is how you know Eric is. On record, live. I can say this. In my opinion, he's the best in the space because he can explain these complex terms that everyone is like losing sleep over in the simplest way. You ask Eric about deliverability, what does he say? He's like, just you need to make sure people don't mark you as spam, right? Like you don't hear people actually say that a lot. And then he works backwards. Like, well, why would they mark you as spam? It's because you're targeting the wrong person. It's because your copy is shit and it sounds very salesy. And it's like, well, if you fix that, like, and you have the most basic like infrastructure set up, that's why people don't believe me when I say it's like I literally just use instantly done for you.
Yeah.
Like I don't overthink it and it works. So yeah, that's a bit of a rant, but like I would say, yeah, stop like overhyping every tech stack there is without learning the fundamentals. Learn the fundamentals, and then the tech stacks will only make you like 10 times better than what you are.
Amazing point. And if you don't have the Gex file, that's like a huge must to get that. I think Eric's like publicly dropped it many times. If you don't have it, message me. I can send you it. He wrote a new one this year that's like, dude, it's like 100. It's like his last one plus a new one. It's like 120 pages. I think Lead Gen J did like a review on it that was pretty thoughtful, and it was like an hour long. So definitely worth the
Mm.
90-page read if you haven't read it. Let's do. We got like 2 minutes left. Let's do a couple quick rapid fire questions. So, um, how do you deal with churn and forecasting around that?
Okay. So with churn, it depends because if you have a bad client, they're going to churn regardless. I would say just control what you can control. You need to treat your agency as if you have an actual product that you're selling. Like these amazing AirPods that I paid so much money for, but my God, I'm going to be a loyal customer for a very long time. So then just make sure your service is as good as possible. Like reinvest your money into the delivery that you're giving to clients, and then people will end up sticking around. I can guarantee you that.
Agreed. Um, Instantly done for you using Google accounts, Google to Google. Is that what you're doing?
That is exactly what I'm doing. Yes.
How many outboxes do you do, or how much volume are you doing for your clients? So if you get a new client tomorrow, general like your normal client where you're trying to get 15, 20 meetings a month for, how many inboxes are you going to set up?
Yeah, so our goal is, I always say, and I'm very specific with my wording of this, is I say our goal is to reach out to up to 10,000 leads per month. The reason we say up to is because during the onboarding process, we might figure out that we really need to niche down because the problem is like that they fix is very specific and it doesn't make sense to send out to too many people. As you saw, like let's say from my campaign, I only reached out to 2,000 people and we have too much demand from that campaign to go through. So that's why like, I put a threshold, and if they need more, then we charge more because it requires more work, more campaigns, more lead lists, more inboxes. And then our inbox split right now is 3 inbox per domain, 15 messages per inbox.
Yep. Okay, cool. So still pretty small, man. That's crazy. We're doing like 30,000. We're setting up hundreds of outboxes. Of course, we're doing it across like the Microsoft infrastructure and stuff. So it's really nice to hear that like, and I'm trying to get back to this too as much is like clearly your fundamentals are working. If you can do it on 20 outboxes and under 10,000 emails, that's fucking amazing, right? I didn't even think that was possible anymore. But it's good to
I
hear that
wanna
others
I wanna
can
be
try.
clear. It's 10,000 leads, not emails. The emails we send is up to, it would be around 20,000 because we only send usually 2 to 3 max touch points per lead. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah. Yeah.
Amazing, man. We're running over. I have another meeting right now. Would love to have you
No
on for
worries.
another session. Thank you so much, brother. As always, again, always thoughtful, always conceptual. Love it. So thanks for coming on and talk to you soon, bro.
Appreciate for having me. Take care,
All right.
everyone. Ciao.
Later, bud.
Bye.